Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Edgar Berlanga, congrats to him. I'm glad he got a victory. He boxed his way to a win last night. But Edgar Berlanga, I'm going to say I like what I saw in him. The fact that he used the jab, which I was concerned about. It seems like he went back, he trained, and realized the jab is going to be important in boxing matches, and he showed that he can use the jab. Now, this is the thing with Edgar Berlanga. Daniel Jacobs was with Rozier, and I heard Jacobs say things before he left Rozier. Okay, talked about the camps with Rozier, the stress involved in the camps, and I think often not being able to focus. Edgar Berlanga came and said the same thing, okay? Said there was just a lot of stress, not being able to focus. He struggled with making weight while in those camps in New York with Rozier. Jacobs found a new trainer. And when Jacobs came out for his fight, his first fight after leaving Rozier, I remember before that, Jacobs was a killer. Jacobs could box. He was a boxer-puncher, but he was like boxer-puncher / killer, right? When he got in the ring, he was trying to get you out of there. That was Jacobs' style. Okay, he got buzz here and there, but nothing bad. Nothing that would end a career and make a person think that you're a suspect fighter. You still don't have the potential to continue to be great. But when Jacobs left Rozier and found his new trainer, Jacobs looked, to me, he just looked like crap. He was trying to be something that he's not. Trying to just be a pure boxer. When that wasn't him. He looked hesitant, he didn't look comfortable. And ever since then, he hasn't looked the same. And same thing with a different trainer, but Golovkin. Golovkin's always been a killer. But once he left Abel Sanchez, hasn't looked the same. Zab Judah was always a killer. Left his dad, went with Pernell Whitaker. He started doing some things. He didn't look too bad, but he wasn't the same guy who would come and take your head off. Ended up break blocking with Pernell, came back to his own ways. But with Edgar Berlanga, it's the same thing. It's his first fight away from Rozier. And yeah, he used a jab, but he was, and I get it, you got to be smart in the ring. But he still took damage. He still got buzzed several times. And to me, he hurt his stock. He hurt his image because for some reason, he tried to bite Angulo. Now I watched the fight from the first second of the first round to the last second of the last round. Angulo wasn't doing nothing dirty in there. He's a physical fighter, but he wasn't trying to throw elbows. He wasn't trying to headbutt him. I was watching the fight. Even when they show replays, they couldn't find a replay of Angulo doing anything dirty. But Berlanga was the one who was getting frustrated. And I'm going to tell you why he's getting frustrated. Because Berlanga wants to knock people out. Berlanga wants to get people out of there. He has a whole country, a whole island, the whole island that's, watching him, that's rooting for him. They want to see knockouts. But most importantly, they want him to win, but in a dominating fashion. And he's taking that into the ring. And when it's not going his way, he is showing now that he's getting frustrated. But to me, Berlanga shouldn't be trying to box. He should, when he has his opportunities, he needs to get his shots off. He's a killer. He needs to be in there, seek and destroy mission. Box smart, but when he has the opportunity, seek and destroy, and then roll out of there. And for those of you who are saying, nah, that's not what he should be doing, I'm going to tell you, I disagree. He should be doing that. But there's something preventing it. I'm going to tell you what's precluding him from doing it. I'm going to tell you. He's not in shape. Okay? Now you can say, oh, well, he went the full 10 rounds. No, man, forget that. He's not in shape. You know what in shape is? Is Hiroto Kayaguchi, the little Japanese guy who just fought against Bermudez, whatever the guy's name, Bermudez, right, at 108 pounds. You know what in shape is? Floyd Mayweather in shape. Manny Pacquiao in shape. Earl Spence in shape. Terrence Crawford in shape. Sean Porter in shape. That's in shape. Tyson Fury in shape. Usyk in shape. That's in shape. okay? Edgar Berlanga is not in shape because he can't let his hands go like that from the first second of the first round to the last second of the last round. Now, he left New York where he was struggling to make weight, and he moved his camp to Puerto Rico. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, and my family is not from Puerto Rico, but from the islands, right? They're not too far. Puerto Rican just down below. But I know for me, right, and I'm not even trying to be funny, there's no way in the world I could leave from here in the States training and go back to the Twin Island, right, and think I'm going to train and cut weight. You crazy? All that good food out there, man. I'm just telling you, man. I'm eating all that shit. I'm drinking all that, man. I'm telling you, man. It just won't work for me. But for him to leave New York and go to Puerto Rico, where he made the weight easier, I was shocked. But I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I ain't that strong. I'm telling you, once that food hit my nose, it's over. You know, I lose. Just to, you know, find another opponent, pull me out, because I can't do it. But he went to Puerto Rico and he lost the weight. But my thing is, such a beautiful island like that, so many places where you can just go and want to exercise, want to train, want to be outside. I'm finding he needs to figure out that conditioning piece, because he's not in the type of shape that he needs to be in. And I get it. Once you get hit, things change. He got hit. Angulo was throwing. He was hiding an uppercut he was throwing, and he landed it. He landed a few times on Berlanga. But Berlanga, if he's going to keep training out of Puerto Rico, he's got to work on his conditioning. Everything else, I think, can fall into place. But he wants to be embraced like Miguel Cotto. He wants to be embraced like Felix Trinidad. Let me tell you something. Miguel Cotto may get tired in a grueling fight, but Miguel Cotto fought hard every round. But he would always get a second win. The only time you saw Miguel Cotto look really, really bad in a fight was when he fought, what's his name? Margarito. And then we know what happened in that fight. You know, it wasn't that Miguel Cotto just didn't have the stamina, was in poorly conditioned. He was in there fighting somebody with loaded gloves. And he's so mentally strong that he was able to persevere and get it. He went as long as he could till his body just couldn't take no more. But he was still in shape. Now Berlanga wants to be embraced like those guys, but it's not. I think it's like this: the Puerto Ricans and boxing as a whole, they got one arm around them. We want to fully embrace him, right? But to fully embrace him like Cotto and Trinidad, he's got work to do. And I think anyone, no matter if you're a Berlanga fan or not, would agree he has work to do. Now, I think you can see the potential's there. Like, the boy, that young man is a star. But he's got to figure out the disconnect, okay? Because there's a disconnect in his team. So, him leaving Rozier, I'm not sure that was the best thing for him. Leaving New York, maybe, but Rozier can't. He has all these fighters in his camp. You know, he can't just pick up and go to Puerto Rico with Berlanga. But he just didn't look comfortable. His boxing wasn't smooth. He looked very, very, he still looked heavy-footed, man. And, you know, and he looked super slow. And Angulo looked super slow. Berlanga should have got him out of there. And to me, it's like watching that fight in slow motion, you know? It was really like watching the fight in slow motion. And I'm watching and I'm thinking, get him out. I was like rooting, like shouting at the TV for Berlanga. I'm like, get him out of there. You know, he was missing opportunities to throw the uppercut, you know. But I understand you got somebody who's touching you and you know he hits hard. You don't want to be careless. You want to be reckless. But if you want to be embraced like the Miguel Cottos and Felix Trinidads, you got to let your hands go. You got to get these guys out of there. In the first 16 fights, you got the whole world's attention. The whole world's attention. Okay, who the hell is this guy knocking everybody out? Then being from New York, Puerto Rican, and now you start making the comparisons. Now, you know, the competition getting a little stiff. and it's becoming tougher, but at the same time, you're changing your style. You know, he's a hard hitter. He got to be able to get his shots off. But I think with Edgar Berlanga, his issue is the stamina. He needs to get in better condition. And I think Edgar Berlanga can make a lot of noise, but they're talking about fighting the Benavidez. Not going to happen. I don't think, like, I'll put it to you this way, right? Edgar Berlanga, he has the potential to do something outstanding. But he's not fighting Eubank Jr., okay? From 160 to 168, he's not fighting Eubank Jr. He's not fighting Andrade. He's not fighting Jamel or Jamal Charlo. He definitely ain't fighting no damn Benavidez. You know what I mean? Even if he was getting a fight with Erislandy Lara or Dennis Hogan, who just fight, he's not beating Dennis Hogan. Okay? He's not beating any of these guys. He's done, and he better be glad Carl Frock is gone. Okay? So or even the Jermaine Taylors and those kind of guys, like he's not gonna do it. He doesn't have, he has it in him. But he's got to figure it out. There's something going on here mentally with him too, man. I just wish that guy the best of luck, but people out there, they're coming down on him, ridiculing him, and I don't think that's what we should do. I think we should. I mean, it's fair game. That's what we're gonna talk about it. But let's look at the things that he can do to get better. And I don't know if Puerto Rico is the answer for him either. I know it's nice to be there, family, culture. So beautiful, it's proud, just where you feel comfortable. I feel like that, man. Whenever I go back to them Twin Islands, man, it's different. It's like you fit. You know what I'm saying? From the music, food, sense of humor, the smell of mango and different things. You know what I'm saying? All the fruit tree and going up in the river, fishing and doing shit. Like I understand, I understand, but there's distractions that come with that too. And he didn't seem to be too distracted, but I tell you what, I could get some really good training if I went back. Like I just say home, right? He refers to as home. If I went home, I would get a lot of good training. There's so much mountains and hills and different things you can go do and run and train and work out. So conditioning shouldn't be a problem. It's just the distractions. But with him, man, I really hope he figures it out. But he dodged the bullet last night because he got buzzed a couple times. But going forward, people are watching this and they're not going to be afraid. If you let your hands go against Berlanga, man, Berlanga, he stops throwing. He stops throwing. So he got to figure that out. And I think he's trying to pace himself as well and get to the finish line. But he gets in there with somebody who got a good engine on them, they're going to stop him. Not because they're a better fighter, just because they're going to be the fighter who fought the best that night and was in the best shape. So I think Edgar Berlanga he's going to lose probably in his next fight if he steps up with somebody who's not old, who's not slow, but who's, as far as the skill set, is equal to his, but who has a better engine. He will lose because they will just outwork him. And he'll get tired and get on the ropes and hands will be down and the referee will stop the fight. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. He has to work on his conditioning. But I'm still rooting for him, man. I like him. Seems to be a really nice guy, decent guy. But he just has so much attention on him, so much, that I think that's more hurting him than helping him. But I am hoping they go back, work on his conditioning, and let him be a killer. Quit worrying about being a boxer so much. We know you can box. We know about your amateur pedigree. But let this man get in there and destroy people. But work on his conditioning so he can work like that every round. And you got to get those hands up. He still has a bad habit of bringing them hands down. So I work on the defense and conditioning. Those are the two things I work on. Defense and conditioning. And I think everything will fall into place. But that being said, man, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you're watching this, man, subscribe. You're not going to get a bunch of crap on my channel. I really appreciate you just taking time to just watch the video, even if you don't subscribe. I really appreciate it. But as always, shout out to the veterans. Y'all keep safe. Edgar Berlanga has a little bit of work to do, but I think he'll be all right. And as always, I'm in the breeze.